Welcome to the review of my weekend EPL games. This weekend was amazing. First of all, I'm going to talk about the Newcastle game. I'm just going to pick a few games and talk about. I'm not going to talk about the whole games because I'm not sure I even saw the whole games. Firstly, I want to talk about Newcastle. Newcastle Aston Villa ended in a goalless draw. I think Isak cost Newcastle that game. I believe if Isak was in that game, Newcastle would have won that game outrightly. Even before Aston Villa went one man down, there were a lot of chances that I believe that Isak could have converted or provided an assist for. But unfortunately, he wasn't in the game. I don't know what the details of the agreement he had with his team was and why he's refusing to play for them until he gets his transfer or until the window closes and then they come to a resolution. But I think that this attitude of players or this trend of players refusing to play for their teams until their transfer is sorted out, I think it is not a mature thing to do. I don't know what the agreement with the club is, but still, you have a running contract, not a 1 year contract, not a 2 year contract. You have a long contract still to run, and if you are going to leave the club, I feel there are better ways to approach it than this. Now, these days, every player just wants to force the hand of clubs by saying they are not going to play for the club anymore, they are not going to participate in matches. But I think that there is a better way to do these things and then probably infuse it into the contract. But yes, I believe that Isak cost Newcastle 2 more points. They would have gotten the 3 points if it was on that pitch. Secondly, Chelsea. Chelsea, the Club World Cup champions, drew on their home turf against Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace is a good team. Nobody can take that away from them. They are a good and proper team. They are properly coached. If you watched the game, you would see that their structure defensively was amazing. Their structure off the ball, spot on. Their aggression, their energy was all good. But with where Chelsea has reached, I understand that Crystal Palace beat Liverpool on penalties, actually. Crystal Palace won against Man City in the FA Cup. But I believe that Chelsea would have won that game if Colwill was on the pitch. Now, Colwill is not an attacker, obviously, but Colwill plays line-breaking passes. Colwill is the first point of transition, progressing the ball in the Chelsea setup. Colwill bypasses the press of opponent's team when they are pressing Chelsea. Now, when Colwill wasn't there in that game, it was difficult. You could see that the centre-backs were very uncomfortable with the ball at their feet, and they ended up playing passes into very uncomfortable places for the midfielders. So it was difficult for them to actually progress the ball. Most times, before they position themselves properly, the opposition player is already on them pressing. And it was difficult, especially in the first half. It was very evident in the first half. The second half got better, but I believe that although Chelsea did not take their chances, they had 2 beautiful chances, one from Estaval and the other from Santos. They would have sealed that game, but they were not clinical enough. For Estaval's own, I feel like he should have left that ball for Neto. Neto would have placed that ball better, but yeah. Arsenal, Manchester United, the controversial one for me. I feel like there's this thing that Arsenal does that is not, to me, it's an infringement on the goalkeeper. Now, if you see in this video, Saliba is leaning into the goalkeeper. Apart from that, so he was tugging on Mason Mount's shirt. Away from that, he was leaning into the goalkeeper. That goalkeeper felt like he would have been able to claim the ball somehow. I think that was what he was trying to do instead of punching. But at the point where he leaped, would have been able to do that. But watch what Saliba did. Saliba nudged into him, and I think that took him away from the distance where he wanted to stretch his hand and touch that ball. So yeah, although if I were him, like normally what should be done is to punch the ball out, but I don't think his decision making was that bad. It was just bad because of that incident that happened. Yeah, Manchester City, they are here to win the league. Man City are playing as if they are the defending champions. They did not give Wolves any chance. I know a lot of people will be like, they played Wolves, but if you had seen that game, you would know that this Man City, they are not here to play. Pep wants to show the world that what happened last season was an unfortunate chain of events with injuries, a lot of distractions, with his marriage and all that. He's out to win the league. Reindeers. That guy is going to be a problem this season. He's going to be a real problem this season. Watch out for him. Man City played exquisite football. They were good, although there were a few moments where it looked like their defense was not. But no, Man City commanded that game from the beginning to the end. So Man City, I actually think they are the team to beat this season. You know, when there's a lot of hype around teams, Chelsea won the Club World Cup, Arsenal did very well to the end of the season, Liverpool won the league, but Man City have silently done good business. They've gotten players that Pep wants, and they are a team that he has really shaped. What they need now is the momentum. Once they win 3, 4, 5 games, Man City will be unstoppable. Liverpool, I already analyzed their game, but I'm still going to say it. Liverpool needs to fix their defending. They need to fix their defense. They need to command in their defense. It is defense that wins you titles. Liverpool needs to fix their defense. Van Dijk needs to keep his head in the game and actually do what he's good at. He needs to command that defense line. Let me put this out. This week does not define the season. It is just the beginning of the season. Teams are still coming into the game. Teams are still getting a feel of the new season. So it's still too early to call anything, but there are good plays from teams, and teams are showing signs that they are going to be there. I think this title race is going to be more than a 2-horse race. I think all teams will be firing. Manchester United were very unlucky. There were some calls that a lot of people thought were controversial from the refereeing, the VAR and all, but Manchester United, they are not the same team of last season. This season, they are more organized. They are looking like they've gotten a blueprint to build on. The surprise team of the season, I don't know. Nottingham Forest, I know towards the end of last season, they kind of fluttered a bit, but they are back to their winning ways, and they saw that game out in the manner that they usually do. Sunderland were amazing. They did an amazing job, took their chances, defended well, and won that game. Probably they will be the surprise of the season, but so far so good. Goals, like I said, there were goals everywhere. The new signings, we had a feel of them. Let's see what the new week is going to bring. Please like, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell that you're seeing on the screen. Bye for now.